right, so Bitcoin. It's been all over the news lately.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. Seems like it's
It's having a moment,
yeah.
and everyone's, prices are up, and that always gets people talking. But makes me wonder, does this mean that the whole crypto world is about to heat up again?
Could be interesting to think about. It certainly piqued a lot of people's interest.
For sure. And I think, especially with, maybe this will bring some attention back to
Yeah.
altcoins. And just for anyone who needs a quick reminder, altcoins. Those are all the cryptocurrencies out there that aren't Bitcoin.
Right.
So basically everything else.
Yeah.
So to sort of deep dive into this today, we're going to be looking at this article, Can Bitcoin's Rise Spark Altcoin Interest? Catchy title, huh?
Yeah, I like it.
So hopefully they have some good insights for us in there.
Yeah, looking forward to.
So I guess to start off, I mean, we've definitely seen this kind of pattern before, historically, haven't we? Where Bitcoin has a little surge.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I mean, it's kind of a classic pattern in a way.
Right.
Bitcoin goes up and then people start to look around and say, "Okay, well what else is out there?"
Right, exactly. And they hope that maybe they can catch something, on the upswing.
Exactly. Try to ride that wave.
Yeah.
So,
But it's never quite a sure thing, is it?
no, it's not a guarantee.
No. So that's what I'm curious about.
Mm.
Like why isn't it just this automatic thing? Bitcoin goes up, all altcoins go up. What are those other dynamics at play there?
Yeah, well, I think one thing to keep in mind is just that Bitcoin, when it starts going up and it's in the news, it
Yeah.
just reminds everybody about crypto.
Right.
It brings that whole world back into focus.
Yeah.
And so people start thinking about, oh, yeah, maybe I should, get back into that, or maybe I should look at this for the first time.
Yeah, it's like it puts that whole world back on people's radar.
Exactly.
And then they start thinking, okay, well, if Bitcoin's doing well, maybe there's something else out there, that I can get in on early.
Right. Yeah, the fear of missing out, right? That FOMO.
Yeah, exactly.
And especially for new investors, they might not be as familiar with the broader altcoin landscape.
Right.
So they might just see, okay, Bitcoin's going up, I'm going to jump into some altcoins, hoping to find, the next big winner.
Right. It's kind of like Bitcoin is the shiny thing that everybody sees, and then once they start digging around, they're like, oh, what are all these other little nuggets and gems around here?
That's a great analogy.
But altcoins have a pretty checkered past, haven't they?
They do. They do. There's been a lot of volatility, a lot of, scams and pump and dump schemes.
Yeah, there have been some pretty high-profile disasters, too.
Exactly. And that leaves a lot of people, even experienced investors, feeling a little bit cautious.
Right. Even when something like Bitcoin is looking good, you still have that sort of baggage.
Right. Exactly.
So it seems like it's not enough for altcoins to just sort of ride Bitcoin's coattails. They kind of have to prove themselves a little bit more.
I think that's a really important point. Yeah, this time around, I think investors are looking for more than just hype. They're looking for real substance.
Yeah, they're looking for those use cases, right? Like, what problem is this actually solving?
Exactly. And that's what's going to differentiate the altcoins that are going to succeed in the long run.
Yeah. So for somebody out there who's listening who maybe got interested in crypto because of all this Bitcoin news, what would you say to them? Like, what should they be watching for in the altcoin world?
Yeah, great question. I'd say the first thing is don't get too caught up in the day-to-day price movements.
Right.
Zoom out a little bit and look at the bigger picture.
Yeah, look at the fundamentals.
Exactly. So look for those projects that are building innovative technologies, things that have real-world utility. You mentioned DeFi earlier.
Right, decentralized finance.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's a really interesting space. You've got protocols like Aave that are revolutionizing lending and borrowing.
Yeah, it's amazing to see how they're basically building a whole financial system on the blockchain.
Right. And it's all transparent. It's all decentralized.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of other areas too, supply chain management, gaming, even digital art.
Yeah, it seems like there's an altcoin for almost everything these days.
Almost, yeah. It's really quite remarkable.
So it's all about finding those projects that are really solving real problems.
That's the key.
Yeah. So innovation is one thing. What else would you say people should be paying attention to?
Well, I think the regulatory landscape is something to keep a close eye on.
Right.
Because governments around the world are still figuring out how to approach cryptocurrencies.
Yeah, it's a wild west out there.
And new regulations, or even just rumors of new regulations, can have a huge impact on the market.
Right, because it could either bring some stability or it could really stifle innovation.
Exactly. It's a double-edged sword.
Yeah. So that's definitely something to be aware of for sure. Are there any other like red flags or green lights that people should be looking for?
Yeah, I would say look at the development activity within a specific project. Is there a strong team behind it? Are they consistently updating and improving the technology?
Right. It's
Yeah,
just like you're evaluating any other company.
exactly. Do your research, your due diligence.
It all comes back to that. So I guess the answer to our big question, can Bitcoin's rise spark altcoin interest? It sounds like it's maybe.
Yeah, maybe is the right word. It's a complex situation.
It's not as simple as some people might think.
No, it's not a guarantee. It's more like a complex ecosystem.
Right, with all these different factors influencing each other.
Exactly. Yeah,
But that's what makes it so interesting, right?
absolutely. And it's also a reminder that this is still a relatively new space.
Yeah.
It's constantly evolving, and it's hard to predict exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah. We're all still figuring this out together.
That's right. And who knows, maybe some of these altcoins will become major players in their own right.
Yeah, offering solutions that go beyond what Bitcoin was even designed to do.
Exactly. Or maybe some will fade away. Who knows?
Hmm.
It's a dynamic space, that's for sure.
It's going to be exciting to see how it all plays out,
Yeah.
for sure. All right. Well, that's all the time we have for today's deep dive, but hopefully that gives everyone some food for thought.
Yeah, definitely a lot to consider.
And who knows, maybe in a few months we'll be back here talking about the next big thing in crypto.
I'm sure we will. It never stays quiet for long.
Thanks for joining me today. It's always a pleasure to dive into these topics with you.
Likewise. Always enjoy our conversations.
And to all our listeners out there, keep exploring, keep learning, and as always, stay curious about the world of crypto. Until next time.
See you then.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.